Wayo, is that my boy Ronnie? I'm sorry, is that my boy Ronald? What is going on? We got new Ronnie music? What a treat. Oh my god. If there's anything I personally care about, it's what the is going on with Ronnie? Why is he being chased by this falcon? It makes me want to yell.
My tits stand up like the American flag.
I mean, it makes me want to yell shit like,
but that's offensive to every douchebag I've ever met.
That works, that's an insult. Hello, I'm Grace. I talk about music, usually retroactively years later. That's why we're not gonna listen to this Ronald song. That's a straight banger. Let's get a little feel for it. Let's get a little bit of Ronnie. Hold on. Now, my boy Ronnie, Ron Schwanson over here. Now, my boy Ronnie. See, this is interesting. Ronnie is the type of dude that I have always felt will go the extra mile.
Look out, world! 2 cougars on the prowl!
And that's like his choice. That's his thing. He can do what he wants to affirm whatever he wishes to affirm within the look and the presentation he is trying to give to the world. I do not take that away from the man, as I would hope he would not take my expression away from me. I find it funny that he would do the blackout, that he would black out his tattoos. He said something like, hey, I'm the first guy to ever black out my body. Now I'm finding out that other people do blackout. That's pretty crazy. And I'm like, Ronnie, where the f have you been, dude? Where have you been, dude? We've been blacking out. We've been doing that shit. I mean, not me personally. I like the colors on my arm. Now, I didn't think Ronnie was the type of guy to do anything halfway, half freaking measures. He blacked out his tattoos, but only in a way that you can see it physically when looking at him from straight on, or more specifically, when he's looking at himself straight on. I don't like to be shirtless. I would hate to live in a position where I could not be naked with myself, with the world, and in that situation, I may find it necessary to tattoo onto me a permanent shirt. Specifically, the type of permanent shirt that you've cut down or maybe ripped. Ooh, ripping is much cooler. Ripped down all the way to the very bottom, for it looks like you are shirtless within your own shirt. Like your shirt is such little of a shirt that it can't even contain the body that is held underneath it. And to that I say, good video. One more time. Love the tough guy poses. It's like he practices these poses and he freaking knows how he looks. He looks so freaking cool that I'm just like,
Avatar.
But this is not why we're here. Hi, I'm Grace. I talk about music videos from the past. I don't want to hear current shit. I hear current music and I go, why can't it be like
Avatar?
Why can't it be like the good old days? But now we have like all this filth, this disgusting little filth. Music that is so angry and rough that I want to go back and look at a more innocent Ronnie. One cannot escape the hand that they were dealt. One cannot truly escape one's faith. Which one are we feeling? Let's go back to a softer, cuter Ronnie. One that wasn't afraid to show his emotions. Like, he's not afraid to show his emotions. His emotions have just gotten a little cringier. This is no truth. Not good enough? What the f is it? What do you name music? People have such strange names for music these days. This is not good enough for the truth and cliches 16 years later. It's definitely passionful. I want that shot of him opening his eyes. Whoa, what a blast from the past. Guys, if I got my lore, this is actually one of the first songs Ronnie wrote with Escape the Fate. Escape the Fate was a project between him and the guitarist. They were friends, they were bros. Ronnie wanted to start a band, he was getting his life together. We were doing the hustle, we're doing the grind, and we're here making music, being the best emo band we can be. And the one thing I can give Ronnie above all else is that when it comes to Escape the Fate, he genuinely gives a full effort. singing his heart out to a girl named Juliet. Escape the Fate was one of those bands right on the verge of metal and metalcore, but also being screamo and emo. So they kind of split that difference between the older, more metal bands that were kind of anti-emo, because there were two categories. Like just 16 years ago, you would not be able to walk into a room full of kids and say,
Dan, dismantle the titty corner and set up a poker table.
There was a divide in the scene between bands who felt like they were true metal, bands that felt like they were representing the anger, the social just coolness of metal that they were trying to portray. Killswitch Engage, All That Remains, Tough Guy, bro-core, metalcore. But you also had emo bands at the same time getting big, playing similar music that was just as heavy, just as aggressive, with maybe a couple more flares of like poppy twinkles here and there, i.e. like, I don't know, Devil Wears Prada, and like heavier bands like that are mostly heavy, few moments of sugariness. Escape the Fate was somewhere in the middle, being heavy, grindcore with the guillotine, while also being like poppy, pop rock, really, with this song, Not Good Enough for the Truth, and Cliches. And a lot of their stylings makes them feel like they are directly trying to copy themselves off of or commentating on rock stars of the yesteryear. The way they're presenting themselves feel very rock star, especially this guitar player, the audacious hair. This guy's wearing gloves over his drummer, straight up looks like Slash from Guns N' Roses. Feel like they very much are playing on classic rock imagery with kind of an aggressive, more modern, updated sound to go with it. This song seems to be telling the tale of Juliet. Yes, perhaps maybe the very Juliet from the Shakespearean play, because Ronnie himself, he is a literary poet and songs in his heart that he needs to get out. For that, I say, you know what?
My tits stand up like the American flag.
And my tits stand up for you too, Ronnie. Going out there and hustling and writing your songs about Juliet, this girl. Oh, she's not even like sad about it. She's not even mad at being a waitress. Like, she's hot. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong, Ronnie. I'm not gonna stand here and say that this girl isn't hot. I'm not gonna stand here and say that I do not see what Ronnie is seeing. This relationship of them just kind of making out after hours at a restaurant doesn't paint a picture for me as to why Ronnie would kill himself for this girl. Listen, if we're trying to do a modern Juliet tale, I get that. The Montecools and the Capricorns, Capriols are a tale as old as time. One that has been modernized by the depictions of Baz Luhrmann, a young Romeo plus Juliet being portrayed by Leonardo DiCaprio. And maybe Ronnie sees himself sort of as a Leonardo DiCaprio type figure himself. Is this a whistle? What is she wearing around her neck? That's her whistle for when Ronnie gets to a really? Oh, he had to get out of his chair. He's like, these drums will not contain me. I love this song. I love this song with all my heart. What is this curl doing? What do you do with that, dude? I'm just gonna live with it. It's gonna be like my little microphone. I'm just gonna speak into it. So dumb. I fucking hate it. It doesn't go anywhere. Hair down. So every ounce of it, every image of it feels like a band that is playing their freaking heart out. And yes, they look cool. They look really freaking cool. Also, just energy to it. I feel Ronnie just sweating his ass off here. Play music. Song itself has a really good flow to it where you think it's deceptively quicker than it presents itself. You think it's gonna be a slower, treadier song, but it's not. The pickup on it is so good. The bop, bop, crash my car through your window. There's such a pop punkiness to it that Ronnie is so smartly injecting just a little bit of it that I think fully rounds out this emo sound. There's that anger edge to it for the bros that are too tough, that like Escape the Fate for their heavier songs. I like Escape the Fate as much as the next girl. This song, though, the reason why I think it has appeared multiple times throughout Escape the Fates incarnation, at least in the beginning of it, there is a fun chord to it that is cheesy, but catchy enough where it's like, okay, I see what he's doing. But like the Russian roulette's kind of a weird line because it's like they didn't play Russian roulette. They knew they were taking poison, or is it like they didn't know it was poison? He's not good enough for the truth and cliches. What's the cliches that he's not good enough for? Is it like there's plenty of the fish in the sea? I don't know why I did it in British accent. Maybe it's because that Shaun the Dead scene.
I'm not going to say, there's plenty more fish in the sea. If you love her, let her go. I'm not going to bombard you with cliches. What I will say is this. It's not the end of the world.
I don't know this cliche, having a birthday party. I've never worked a day in my goddamn life, and especially at no freaking restaurant, and especially on my birthday when they make a cake for me and then when they throw tinsel over the cake. I don't want to eat little silver plastic. I love that Ronnie has a scarf. I like that you see the seasons. You progressively see the seasons through the wardrobe changes. Here, they're all in winter coats. Ronnie has fur around his jacket. I like a man who's not afraid to play with the ambiguousness of his gender. I don't know. It just looks like a girl's coat, and I think it's funny that he's wearing it in this video that has no freaking color in it, but it's cinematic. You see the bars and you go, well, that's cinematic. It's kind of like a movie. Is he saying he's not good enough for the truth and cliches, or are the cliches like he's not a good enough person to get them himself? And there's like a double meaning to the title. That's so much more clever if you think about it for a minute, I guess. But what's important and what we need to decide right now is where not good enough for the truth and cliches shall end up on our here tier list. We got the Jam It with I'm Not Okay, being the golden standard of what all nostalgic mid-2000s emo songs are based off. Backcountry from Avenged Sevenfold, not quite living up to the standard. I think not good enough for the truth and cliches is not quite good enough to be considered a total and utter classic jam it, but it is pretty good that you should jam it from time to time. You should listen to it. You should turn it on and you should go, yeah, I remember this one. It's not bad. It's not my favorite Escape the Fate song. Not bad, though. And for that, I say, good job. Good job, Ronnie. Ronnie, hey, Ronnie.
Okay, good for you.
And that's the best we can do, right? Hi, thank you. If you've made it this far, please check out my music. It's not good. It's definitely not as good as Ronnie's music, but it's all right. It's all right. There's some good little jammies. If you want to hear it, please go to Spotify, type in Good It's New, and you will hear the soothing sounds of my dumb voice. That's for sure. Anyway, good times, good times, good times. Like, share, subscribe. Maybe. Are you cool? Should I keep doing this? Whatever. All right, goodbye now. I'm gonna stop recording this.